Creed and Nickelback. Do you love them or do they suck? Let's decide. Kick it! Hey, thanks for all the new subscribers. Thanks for clicking on this video. We're going to talk about Creed and Nickelback. Love them or hate them. Henry Rollins once said, to actually hate something, you're giving too much of yourself to that thing. So we're not really talking about hating these guys. We're not talking about like hanging outside their house just so they can come out to their car and go, you suck. No, we're just talking about love them or hate them playfully. These bands that were forced on our necks way back when. Enough time has passed that I think we could clean the slate, get all your rock and roll elitism out of the way. Yeah, you know, lots of records. No, let's just clean it. Let's look at these two bands, Creed and Nickelback. It's interesting because bands can explode, and as soon as they explode with that same speed, they can get all the hate coming back right down on them. We're seeing it today with Five Finger Death Punch. A lot of people are like, that's the blandest heavy metal band ever, and I agree. And there's also Machine Gun Kelly. He's also, now he was a rapper, now he's a pop punk god, and he's filling stadiums, and does he deserve that? No. Kind of sucks what he does. All humans, myself included, we have this sheep mentality where we like being told, hey, this is good, let's all like this, and then, hey, this is bad, let's all hate this. So that's why I said, let's wipe this slate clean, and I looked at it. I didn't buy either the bands because they're uploaded on YouTube for free, right here on YouTube, so I might as well just listen. So I gave each of their premier works 3 or 4 listens through, and let's start with the reviews. Creed was the first one. Creed actually formed in 1994. So this is Pearl Jam hit it big in 91. Stone Temple Pilots hit it big in 92. I remember Scott Weiland, when they came out, they took a lot of crap for being Pearl Jam wannabes. Actually, I think they were called Mighty Joe Young, and they were formed actually before Pearl Jam. But the first one to hit it with any kind of style, that's people think are the original, and then of course anyone comes out after that, which sometimes happen. You get suits at the record labels. I don't know how the industry works now, but back then, you know, and they would see something like, oh, that's pretty good. And the first wave of something is because the people made it popular, you know, and it became, it's organic almost to say, and the big record companies had to pay attention because the people were really enjoying the stuff. But then like wave 2 is usually their idea of what the people want, and then they kind of like run it through their system, the big corporate system, and then they push it out to back people. You know, here's what we think you like because you guys like Nirvana, well then here's some Bush. You know, you guys liked Pearl Jam, here's some Stone Temple Pilot. Creed formed in 1994. Probably took a lot of crap, you know, for that Pearl Jam thing just because Scott Stapp sings with that lower voice. You know, rock and roll is usually mid-range or high voices, and he's got that lower voice, so of course he's going to take a little bit of that out. Him and Mark Tremonti formed the band. I think they wanted to go to FSU, but they didn't. But they formed it around Tallahassee, Florida. Of course, if I mention FSU, my wife is a Florida State graduate, so I gotta go. Go Noles! I give them credit. Forming in Florida. Florida is, it's not a lot of, I don't know, originality in Florida. A lot of clubs, I lived there for 8 years, a lot of clubs want cover bands. A lot of dudes, you know, showing up with their sunglasses like this. You know, play some Slipknot, they're the heaviest thing ever. And that kind of attitude. They want to hear songs that they, you know, a lot of this bro, you guys rock, you know. So it's not an easy place. So they were doing covers, and they were like, hey, let's start doing our own stuff. And I applaud them for that. Like that. Their first album, what is it? That was like Gin Blossoms or something. I hated, didn't like that song at all. I was like, no. First one was called My Own Prison. Title song exploded. Like I said, I didn't really like it. But let's look at their greatest work, which is made like platinum 4 billion times. Human Clay, recorded in 1998 and released summer 1999. Wipe the slate clean, put it on. I kind of actually did want to like these records, to be like, screw you guys, Creed and Nickelback are awesome, just to piss off my elitist friends. But I tell you, What If, Beautiful, Say I'm like, a little more, I don't know, Tool-ish, kind of like Tool with the syncopated beats and the rhythms, but a very whitewashed kind of version, maybe a little bit of Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots thrown in there. Wrong Way, Faceless Man, Never Die. I was really hoping for a powerful song. It was almost like someone from a record company was like, well, let's lick the guitar just this much distortion. Let's put the vocals way out here, but not too much angst on the vocals, because we did some marketing research and we found that people only like X amount of angst on their vocals and X amount of distortion. A little bit of the snare sound. I thought the drums sounded horrible on that album. My favorite song actually was With Arms Wide Open, which was the big hit single. It was drilled into our heads and we couldn't escape it. I think the lyrics are about, he found out that he was going to be a papa and stuff. I'm erasing all the kind of TMZ stories about the band and just looking at the music. And I gotta say, With Arms Wide Open is probably my favorite track of if I had to pick a favorite song. Higher, I thought that guitar lick is really cheesy. And then the other two songs at the end just kind of lost me. So track after track, I found it really predictable, kind of safe, like production, like I said. It's like watered down alternative rock and watered down grunge. It just didn't really do much for me. So I wanted to listen to other songs to give the band a fair shot, because people were like, One Last Breath, I thought it was a cheesy song. That song on another one of the records, it was a big hit for them. Cheesy lyrics, cheesy, and then everyone's like, well, the heavy last record is called Full Circle. So I listened to that twice. Now that would be my favorite Creed record, I think, of their 4, but still not something that I would purchase or want to play on its own. I'd only listen to it if I was being forced to. Again, it just wasn't, to me, like, they're so, as you get older, even at that point, as I was hearing bands, I was in my late 20s when Creed came out. I had already heard enough that I knew what was good, what sounded good, organic, I want to say, and what was kind of just not so good. It's not bad to be popular, to be pop. I love pop, some pop music I love, and I love pop rock. But I think these guys were trying to be harder than obviously that, like heavy metal or hard rock, and it just wasn't connecting me. It sounded generic. It sounded corporate rock, really, and it just didn't connect with me. Sorry. Creed, you deserve it. When people say you suck, sorry, you deserve it. Let's go on to Nickelback. Formed in 1995, signed in 99, so they spent 4 years, doing a club, stuff like that. Creed, I think, 1 year, then they exploded, which is, it's hard to do. Nowadays, people think, I just put a song up on YouTube and I'll be successful, which has happened for some people. But talk about the way it was then and the way it still is now. It's such a small chance that you're going to hit it. So both these bands hit it, so congratulations for that. So they were signed by Roadrunner Records, which used to be a smaller label from the East Coast. I used to get a lot of their stuff to listen to when I used to review music for Punk Planet and college publications. I used to get tons of stuff from Roadrunner. Liked about 20% of it. I thought Nickelback was a little more rockin', a little more straight ahead, not AC/DC-ish, but like just straight ahead and more rockin', and I thought that suited them well. How You Remind Me, again, the big song, was probably my favorite track of the album. Not a bad song. I think Chad, the singer, is the only guy I know. Like Creed, Scott Sapp and Mark Tremolli, because I think he went to Alter Bridge. Those are the two guys. The other two guys, I don't know. They're like, and then Chad from Nickelback, he was lucky. He got to marry Avril Lavigne. No, Avril. I always forget her and the guy from Maroon 5. One's Avril and one's Avril. I don't know. The other guys in the band all look like cookie cutter. Like, here's your Ed Hardy shirt. Here's your tribal tattoo. Here's your earring. Go out there and rock with your perfect hair. And I like my rockers to look like Keith Richards and Ozzy. Like weird looking dudes. Dudes that you're like, oh, maybe I should cross the street because I don't want to be on that side. Like, not like, hey, I don't know. But that's image. Let's go back to the music. I wish the production was a little meatier. Could have been a great song. How You Remind Me, I think Chad, they said, like, would look at the charts and study the popular songs and think, okay, relationship songs are good, songs that hit you with a big chorus are good, and tried to get it. I know, like, we're just kind of the same age, Chad and I and Scott Sapp and I, so I know probably what they listened to as they were growing up. So therefore, it should be better, because you know what kind of influences you're drawn from, but you're just making commercial garbage. I didn't feel any of this album. I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to wipe the slate clean and be like, screw you, these guys are good, because I'm sure a lot of YouTube people, screw them, Creed and Nickelback suck. It's too easy to be that person, but I gave it a fair shot. So I wanted to listen to more of their songs. I didn't like the Silver Side Up, which is, I think, their like 4th album or something. They've put out a lot of music. And they're still around, of course. Nickelback. Creed, I think, has ceased to be, but Nickelback is still around. And so I listened to Rockstar, which is one of their big songs. That was one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life. It's like country, rock, heavy metal. When I say country, heavy metal, is country, I think, sometimes is playing to the lowest common denominator type music, where they take a simple phrase and then hey, we're going to twang that, and keep on hitting you with it. She left me, but I got my truck. Oh, that's clever. No, it's not. It's dumb. A lot of country music is so dumb. And I thought Nickelback was like the heavy metal version of country music, and that was bad. And then Burn It to the Ground. They use that on World Wrestling Entertainment, which I watch that. But yeah, Burn It. It's almost like he's like, what can I get that people are gonna be able to sing and feel like angst? Yeah, but pretend commercial angst. There's bands out there, you hear that scream and that singer's pissed. But this, it's like I said, it's very controlled. I just didn't like it. It's like bro country rock. So people are gonna, comment, and I want you to comment below. Hey, if you think I'm wrong, these bands are good, great for you. It's good to find music that you really like. If you love Creed, you love Nickelback, don't listen to other people. If you want to love them, you love them. But if someone was to come to me and say, hey, McDonald's has a really popular hamburger, I'd say, yeah, you're right, it's really popular, but is it the best? No, there's lots of burgers out there that are a lot better than McDonald's burgers. So in that substance of getting a better burger, I researched records that came out when these records came out. Maybe you'd want to check out and get yourself a better burger than Creed. Creed, the year that came out, 1999, with a little more substance, I think, than Human Clay, would be Ministry, longtime industrial rock heavy metal band. Dark Side of the Spoon came out that year. I would much rather listen to that. Oh, you like your heavy metal? Wasp, Eldorado came out that year. I'd so much rather listen to that. What else did I pick? Oh, Teen Idols. This is catchy rock and roll, almost kind of like with the 50s, 60s twang intermixed with punk rock. Pucker Up, Teen Idols, that came out. I would way much rather listen to that. AFI had Black Sails in the Sunset. AFI is, I think, still going around. Great band. Check that stuff out. A little more than Creed. And the Bouncing Souls from East Coast, pop punk band. They had Hopeless Romantic that year. Check out the Bouncing Souls. I'd rather you listen to that than Creed. Okay, Nickelback, 2001 was the album Silver Side Up. What came out in really these late 90s, early O's, that wasn't a great time for music, in my opinion. All that new metal stuff that started coming out in O's. 01, a band that also takes some flack for being like, you guys are so much heavier, and now you're kind of too commercial. You're like the punk rock Nickelback. But back then, they were putting out their first album, Rise Against. The Unraveling, one of the best rock records. And hey, if you don't want your stuff too heavy and weird and indie metal and prog and all that, you just want your straight ahead commercial stuff, I tell you what's equally as likable, I would get one of the best records of that kind of style of just straight ahead catchy rock and roll. Jimmy Eat World, Bleed American. Oh my God, that is this is an amazing record. Everyone Knows the Middle had a video for it, a bunch of people in their underwear. If you want people to watch your video, put sexy people in their underwear. But I tell you, this record is so much more than that. It has its slow songs, has its emotional songs, has its just kick-ass straight ahead songs. Jimmy Eat World, Bleed American came out in 01. Much rather listen to that. Alkaline Trio, From Here to Eternity. This came out in 01. Much rather people listen to this. You get more substance for your bang listening to that. And like I said, if you do want the commercial stuff, hey, Sum 41, All Killer No Filler. This came out in 01. Way better than Nickelback. What else have we got? Oh, Fugazi's last record, The Argument. That came out in 01. Much rather you listen to Fugazi. That's really organic stuff right there. So there you have it. That's my opinion. Gave you some suggestions and stuff that's probably better than Creed Nickelback. Sorry. Like I said, I wanted to come out and be like, these guys are ruling. You're so wrong. But the internet, you got this one right. They do deserve the hate. They suck. Thanks for watching.